Hi, I'm Anne Marie from Teacher to Teacher Help. In this video, I'd like to share with you why you need a writing conferring toolkit and my 3 go-to tools in my toolkit. So have you heard this sentence before? Teach the writer, not the writing. I used to hear that phrase or that sentence all the time, and I wasn't always exactly sure what it meant. And then one day it hit me. When I work with a student and improve this piece of writing that they're working on right now, I help them today, and this piece of writing gets better. But my goal as a writing teacher is not just to improve this piece of writing, but to improve the writer so that every piece he or she creates in the future will be better. So instead, I want to give my students strategies that will help them become better writers on every piece of writing that they do. So years ago, I was actually studying conferring by watching some videos by Carl Anderson, these strategic writing conferences. And something that I noticed that Carl did every time he sat down with a student was to ask the students first, what are you working on as a writer? What are you trying to get really good at? And then in his mind, he was trying to think about what can I complement this writer? What are they already doing well or approximating? And then what can I teach this writer? And once he would land on a teaching point, I noticed that in every conference, he would whip out a tool. And I realized that was what was missing in my writing conferences. Because I wasn't prepared with a tool, I would just resort to fixing up this piece of writing. And I didn't do anything to help my students then transfer that skill into new pieces of writing. So instead, what I now do is teach the writer by teaching off of another piece of writing, and it's another writing tool, or using a writing tool to demonstrate, and then inviting my students to transfer that writing skill into their own writing. So my 3 go-to tools that I keep in my writing toolkit now are number 1, mentor texts, and specifically mentor texts that I have tabbed up so that I am prepared to go into a conference with certain teaching points. My second one is demonstration writing. So demonstration writing is when you study student writing and then you mirror write to a deficit, really. You mirror write what your students are writing and then use that piece of writing to lift the level in a conference. So instead of fixing up the students' writing, you're demonstrating on your own piece of writing that you've mirror written, and then you demonstrate with that and then invite students to try that same thing in their own writing. So that's demonstration writing. The third one is using micro progressions. Micro progressions are when you show how a piece of writing becomes a little bit more advanced. You gradually lift the level. I like to use a video game analogy and say, we're going to power up our writing just a little bit to get to the next level, and then power up again to get to the next level. So in this series of videos, I'm going to take you through the 3 kinds of writing tools, show you some of mine, and invite you to try some on your own and add them to your writing toolkits so that you too can not just help your students fix up their pieces of writing, but to improve the writer, not just the piece of writing, so that they will apply that skill, transfer it to every piece they do in the future.